Hiya, so I finally got around to updating the firmware on this Oberheim, and I've got to say the new revision is a really big update for the synth. The biggest difference is the new binaural mode, which basically turns it from an 8-note analog synth into a 4-note analog synth, but an absolutely massive sounding one with a beautiful stereo feel to it. I'll show you around it. It's also got this new double plus mode, which is cool because although this synth has always had a double mode where you can layer two sounds on top of each other, before it didn't actually store the information of the sounds in the double preset. Really frustrating kind of architecture, to be honest, but they've kind of fixed that now because they've got this double plus and it gives you 64 patches whereby everything is stored in that double preset. By the way, I've done a new sound set for the synth that highlights the binaural and double plus modes. It's a little bit more experimental sounds than my main sound set. If you're interested in checking it out, the link is below. You can go and listen to the sounds and get them if you like. All right, let's have a little look around it. Okay, so first the binaural mode. This is the synth in normal mode. And if I have the same sound in binaural, sounds like this. Very big sounding. You know, it's just basically doubled the sound. You don't get any phasing, even though it's not detuned. I don't know what they've done, but obviously they found a way not to make it phase. You can also detune between them, make it even bigger. You can also transpose one of the sounds against the other, which is quite a cool effect. For instance, I got this sound. If I put one of them up a fifth, this really mysterious kind of sound, which I love. I've been really enjoying playing with that lately. In double mode, you can also add more width by using this modulation section down here, because you can affect just one side. Here it's just affecting the upper side, and that'll make it chorus even a bit more against the other sound. It's a beautiful thing. Great sounding, I have to say. Another thing worth mentioning about the binaural mode is it's not just a sound doubled and panned left and right. If you go to the LFO section, depending on which mode you're in, there's two modes. There's an OB8 mode and an OBX8 mode. If you're on the OB8 mode, then the LFO goes between the speakers. If I put it to filter, get this great effect. Same with the volume. The volume will do the same thing. Quite a cool effect. And if you don't want that effect, you just go to the other mode, the OBX mode. It doesn't move left and right, so it's nice that you've got the two options there. But I do like that movement, sounds very cool. going over to the double mode, I've been really enjoying making some kind of FM type sounds using the double mode. Because you've got two sounds, you can have one can be the main sound and the other one is free to use it as almost an FM thing, using very high frequencies to make interesting sounds. For instance, here I've got a great sounding DX7 type piano. Now that sound, basically, the main body of the sound is this. And the other side of the double is this. But if you blend the two together, you get this interesting patch. And because you can now store it all together in one thing, you can really experiment with, messing around with that frequency. So you can really play around and get some cool sounds. Pretty much I've been just using binaural and double all the time, and I'm happy with it just being 4 voices, but they're 4 absolutely fabulous voices. And I've got the original Oberheim OBX8. I always use it in double mode, and generally I'll just have the same sound left and right, and it just sounds great. But here, obviously, it's so much more flexible now because you can store these patches with interesting variations of the two sounds put together. Here's another kind of clangorous kind of sound. Some unspecified oriental instrument. And again, I'm using one side to do most of the musical stuff. And the other side. And I think it's very interesting to blend these tones like that. I also want to talk about my frustrations with this synth. There's a few things I really hate. One is the hold. It's just ridiculous, the hold. It's an ancient thing where you hold and then you press that and then you can play on top of it. Great, don't need that. But what I really find annoying is if I'm in an arpeggio situation, I can't do a hold. Do that. I have to press hold. Do that. Hold and then hold on here. It's just, oh God, honestly, it's ridiculous. We want to hold, you play a chord, it holds it until you hit the next chord, then it stops playing the first chord and holds the second chord. That's the sensible thing that almost any musician would want. It frustrates me sometimes, but I know that these things were made like this because they wanted to be true to the original and they wanted to convince everyone that the new one is the same as the old one. But we don't need that bit of retro. No one needs that bit of retro. I'd love it if you could make that a bit more sensible, please. People at Oberheim, love you. So there's the odd frustration like that. The other one was, the double patches and the split, the fact that it wasn't all in one patch. They have really partially rectified that with this double plus mode, I have to say. So now, as well as having saw and pulse together, or triangle, you can have all 3 together. There you go. All in all, a very good update, I've got to say. It's great. And I don't use this synth all the time. You know, I've been doing a lot of pop sessions the last year or so, and it doesn't usually, it's not the one I turn to get the job done. You know, it just doesn't seem to be the one. If I want something very particular with a real flavour, that Oberheim flavour, then it can sometimes be just the thing that nothing else could do. But it is a bit more, it's less of a workman type thing and more of a very niche thing, but a very beautiful niche. You know, I almost want to make music just to work with this Oberheim, you know. Maybe I will one of these days. Anyway, let me play you some of my sounds.